Okay, for this procedure I'm going to be using maybe a flathead. I'll have it there in case. A Phillips, obviously, and a opener tool. Now, first thing you would do is take the bottom screws off, but they're already gone, so slide the door off. Okay, now next thing you do is actually shut the phone off. Okay, now right away I can tell this iPhone is, you know, it works, but there's issues. It's been water damage, there's corrosion. It looks like it's been cleaned up, but obviously the metal is still a little rusted in areas. That's not a problem. We're just looking at the point of this video is to show you how a blue iPhone 4S looks like, pretty much, and where you can get the parts for that. So let's take the battery out. You start with the two screws right here, which are actually a little bit stripped as well. Now I would recommend you organizing the screws if you've never done this before. I know where the screws go, so I'll be fine. This is not the tutorial on how to fix this phone, by the way. If you really need to know how, then watch my other video. Okay, now unplug the battery here carefully. Take it off. Move it aside. Don't lose this little antenna piece. Now, see, and again, there's two screws missing here, holding the flex cable for the charger port. That's not a big deal. Now, another screw missing there. This is great. I'm gonna, by the way, on that website below, you can also get a screw kit. I think it's like $5 for the entire screw kit for a 4S. So, I mean, if you lose some, it's not a big deal. Just as long as it's not the important ones. Wow, they didn't even put this screw in for the screen. Okay, so take the charger port piece out, unplug the antenna. There's the antenna, cable with the speaker assembly. Now, okay, that's why you need the flathead. The 4S has a couple of these big screws here, and you need a flathead to unscrew them. Take the SIM card tray out also. Now, I forgot to bring a pin from work, but I'm just gonna do it non-conventional way there. Screw this one here. Again, try to organize and label where the screws are supposed to go, because they're not all the same. And if you've never done it before, or you haven't done it many times, you'll be really frustrated trying to find where the screws go. Unplug all these connectors. Preferably don't use a metal tool like I'm using here. Okay, if it's your 4S and you were to mess up your 4S, that would really hurt. This one I don't care that much about, but I also know what I'm doing, so we'll be okay here. So there's unplug all those connectors, unplug the digitizer and the LCD connector. Off they come. Take the camera out. There will be another screw here. It's missing, but on your iPhone it will probably be there. So don't forget to take that one out. Another screw's missing here, holding this antenna in. It's like a little piece. Another flathead, big chunky screw there. Take that out. Now, if you've never done this before, be really careful. It's not worth changing the color on your iPhone if you're gonna mess something up. So there's the motherboard. Not much to it. Looks similar to the iPhone 4. Put it aside. Now this is It just, you just gotta pull it off. It's the vibrator motor, and just pull it off. It'll come off pretty easily. Okay, now there's 6 screws on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just loosen those up. You don't. Okay, now corners, there's 4 screws, 1 on each corner. Take those out. Now this part on the original requires heat. You need a heat gun or a hair dryer, and you need to heat up around the edge, because I would highly recommend when you're doing a replacement, if your screen isn't broken, to keep the old one, the original one. You always want to keep it. So don't just rip it off. Try to be careful getting it off. Heat it up nicely. Don't heat it up too much because you'll melt something. Okay, so I've taken the gold one off, and here we go. Now the original home button has this metal thing, right? So take it off and put it on this home button. Usually, sometimes you don't have to, but in a lot of cases it's better, so just do it. Also take off this little surrounding. Oh, you can't even see. Okay, we're here. There we go. So take off this little surrounding area thing and the metal thing and put it on the new home button. It'll just work out better for you. Then you put it on this, and then put the home button in the screen and try to get this on top of it. This will just make it so the home button doesn't turn around and do stupid things while it's in there, okay? Also the mesh is still here. It's not up here. On the original screens, it would be stuck to the glass, so peel it off and put it on the new screen. You don't want to forget to put the mesh in. It'll look ugly afterwards if you do. Slide the connectors all the way through. Make sure it doesn't get pinched between the frame. Make sure the home button's clicking nice. Now, tighten up all these screws again. Then put those 4 screws in the corners, or 3 in some cases. In this case it was actually only 3. I don't. Yeah, it's 4 screws, but 1 was missing, obviously. So in my case it's 3. In your case it'll be 4. Now we're ready to put the motherboard in after we put the vibrator motor in, of course. Line it up with the hole and make sure it's properly lined up, or else you're not going to be able to, it won't touch the motherboard in the right place. Put the motherboard in, underneath all these cablings. You don't want to rip any cables. It's really frustrating when you don't have the parts on you and you need to get your phone done and you have a broken cable. Put the big chunky screws with the flathead on first to hold the board in place while you do everything. There you go. Now you put the camera in. And let me just see how far. Put the camera in. Plug in all these ribbons. The LCD. Digitizer. The antenna. Okay. Put the flex cable, no, what is this? The speaker antenna assembly thingy right in here. Plug in the antenna connector nice and easily. Should be nice and easily anyways. There she goes. Put in those 2 screws at the bottom. So easy. It's very simple, you just gotta take your time, really. It's not that hard to do. It's just time consuming and there's a risk to it, but you gotta take your time. Plug that in. Now I'm missing a bunch of screws, so I pointed them out earlier, so right now it looks like I'm not done, but really it's just all I have here. Other than that, stick this antenna thing back in here up the top. Line this one up here before you put the battery in. Throw the battery in. Screw in the battery. There will be 2 screws, but I only have 1 because I'm missing a bunch of screws. Okay, now you're ready to fire it up and hope for the best. Yay! We got some action now. Slide the battery door on. Don't put too much pressure. It should just go into the grooves and then you just slide it down. There you go. See? Everything's working. As you can see, touchscreen's working perfectly. Test every corner, every side, you know, everything. There you go. It looks really cool. I think it looks cool. I think you'll definitely get some glances at school or wherever you are. There you go. See? So there it is. If you're interested in changing the color of your 4S and think you can do it yourself, check the link below for the parts. Like I said, the quality is pretty good. The service is great. So check us out. Thanks for watching.